Alright Aries, thanks for tuning in to your August horoscope. My name is Athen, and let's start this off by looking at your ruler Mars this month. He's transiting your 7th house. And this month is interesting because we have the fast-moving planets, Venus and Mars, the feminine and masculine principles of the microcosm of the day-to-day, more mundane aspects of life, joining up with the slower Jupiter and Saturn planets, which have to do with the big picture and the sort of, what's been going on is the major theme for the surrounding months and years. So what this means is it's a month of really narrowing in and working on the larger aspects of our lives. So I'm going to talk about what's been going on in the big picture for you. Excuse me. And then what you can do this month to really, capitalize on that and align yourself with the creation of the universe. Because, the big picture, Jupiter and Saturn, these are the creation elements of the universe. And when we align with that, when we align with the creation of the universe, then we become co-creators. And that's when we really unlock our greatest ability to manifest. So that's going to be an opportunity for all of us now, particularly with the fast-moving planets joining up with the slow-moving ones. For example, Venus will be joining up with Jupiter in your 4th house, and Mars will be joining up with Saturn in your 7th. So let's talk about that 7th house, since your attention will be here because your ruler is Mars. So the attention will be on relationships and partnerships this month, okay? Existing relationships and new ones. And you have a lot of energy available for you to put into that. So, now is the time of that cycle where, you've really understood more about yourself. You're coming around, you've done the bottom part of the chart, and now you're on your way up to the top part. And you're on the right side, which has to do with others. You're other-oriented right now, and this is particularly the case this month. So you've understood more about yourself, what makes you happy, what you want out of life. And now I think you're going to want to share that more with other people this month, or at least you have the ability to, the energy to put into that. Now, because Saturn is there, there might be a little bit of resistance in doing that, because wherever Saturn is, that's where we're called to put in hard work and discipline. And that's been a major theme for you, is putting in discipline and becoming more mature when it comes to relationships. Understanding that, relationships take work, and there's also commitments in relationships and those sorts of things. So this month when Mars goes in there, where Saturn has been, you now have the opportunity to put energy into making, your relationships more stable, more realistic, more grounded. And this might mean, facing some fears and some avoidance perhaps in regards to that, because that's where Saturn is. And the good thing about Mars is that's where we can have courage. So it's really about stepping up, taking the courage to perhaps make some commitments, or to take things a little bit more seriously or more realistically with relationships. Or just all in all, just have a more grounded approach to it and enjoy things, one step at a time, and just being, a little bit more grounded with it. So that is the highlight for you. Now, I do want to mention that, with Jupiter and Saturn, like I said, it's the creation of the universe, right? And what I mean by that is Jupiter and Saturn are both polarities. They're a feminine and masculine principle of the same thing. They're the two planets that orbit next to each other outside the asteroid belt. So they have to do with the big picture. And the way they interact, the masculine and feminine polarities of the big picture, is that Jupiter is the expansion. So if you can think of the sacred geometry and the creation of the universe, Jupiter's like that big bang, that expansion of everything just going out in all directions. And then Saturn is everywhere there is a space or a gap or a definition or a star or something that gives the universe or the expansion its shape, the sacred geometry, its unique shape. So in this case, the expansion has been happening in your 4th house, which has to do with your soul. It's the bottom of the chart. It has to do with your past, your family, and your home. But on a more, general level, it's your soul and past lives and, the subconscious and feelings. It's the bottom, it's the receptive part of the chart. So this has been growing, okay, for the past few months. It's been growing and expanding, all right? So perhaps new opportunities, in regards to, the home might be an example, or more opportunities in regards to your ability to feel and understanding that, wow, how you feel really creates your reality. And by tapping into the positive, abundant aspects of your feelings, then you're sending that out to the universe, that that's what you want to manifest and create. So continue to expand your soul in all levels and continue to explore your family or your past or past lives or your soulmates, because we are talking about the 7th house. So soulmates, not just romantic, but I'm talking about people in your life who are very important and who you felt like you've known for perhaps past, for many lives. And understanding that they have a role to play in all of this. And this is where Jupiter, it's one example of how Jupiter and Saturn come together here, okay? So you've got all this expansion, expanding yourself out with your soul. Now, Saturn is helping you bring in people into your life that's going to help you do that. Okay, it's going to help you tap into your soul, but on a more realistic and structured level. Saturn also is exalted in the 7th house, and Saturn likes to be there. And it's because Saturn understands that other people and relationships are all part of the creation. And they're just reflections of ourselves, and they're all there, and everyone serves a use and a purpose in our lives. So while you're expanding your soul, it's about understanding that other people have a role, a very important role in your spiritual growth, in your soul growth. And like I said, maybe there's some resistance there, but use this month to really, really pour in that energy, that Mars action-oriented energy, to make those relationships a part of your life, okay? And, make them more long-term and more committed. And the more you do that, see, you're joining hands with the universe, okay? If you're allowing your soul to expand while at the same time you're getting real with your relationships, then you're really working in tandem with the universe. And when you step into that, that's when you really step into that power to manifest, okay? And if your manifestations are centered around that, for example, if you want, more relationships or new relationships or whatever, if you're manifesting based on you wanting to become more, soul-oriented and mature in that area, if you're coming from that level, then, that's the strongest intention. That's when you have the greatest chance of manifesting, or I should say the fastest manifestations when you're in line with that. So if you're coming from the Saturnian approach to relationships and the expansive approach to your soul, then you're definitely in line with that. And it doesn't just have to do with relationships, it can do with any area of your life. But I think that's where your focus and attention is going to be on. And your family and your past and, your feelings too, which I'll talk more about when we talk about the moon and sun. But like I said, we got Mars joining up with Saturn. Now let's talk about Venus. Now Venus is joining up with Jupiter, okay? Now so she's going to be making her way into that 4th house of enjoying the soul, expansive elements of life. This is about enjoying your feelings and enjoying receptivity And in this case, enjoying the emotional exchanges of relationships and the secure, relationships can be very secure, and that's a wonderful thing, is to have that kind of security. But it takes work, right? But in either case, she's going to be making her way into that fourth house. But until she does, she's going to be in your third up until the 7th of this month. So this was the energy of July, which was enjoying communications and expressing yourself. And I think, last month in July and for the first week, there's going to be a lot of activity and enjoying that activity. Third house is like the marketplace. It's where we exchange and learn and teach and just exchange with other people. And that there's a lot of enjoyment and opportunities there for you, and there will continue to be up until the 7th. So do tap into that, and tap into how people, you have this energy in relationships, build relationships, exchange with people, and then through that you developing your relationships. Now on the 7th and onward, she will be in that 4th house. So enjoying those feelings, like I said, and the soul, and the family, and the home, and the past, and your sentiments. What gives you sentimental value? All of this is going to create a lot of positive energy. And if you mix that with the action-oriented energy of your relationships, of your 7th house, then you are really stepping into that manifestation power. So that's the overall theme for you this month. Now let's talk about the sun and the moon. The sun will be in your 4th house up until the 16th. Okay. So for the first half, there is going to be a lot of awareness in regards to, again, 4th house matters of the soul. Okay. So understanding, really pay attention for the first half, particularly around the full moon on the 10th, which I'll talk about. But for the first half of the month, really pay attention to what you enjoy out of that, who you are, where you come from, who you are on a soul level. There's going to be a lot of awareness. Okay, the sun is about that conscious awareness, so pay attention to that. And then through that, you're going to find a lot of values, what you enjoy emotionally, what you enjoy around the home, what activities you enjoy spending time with, in relationships or with your family or whatever. Okay, that's the sort of conscious awareness that you want to have for the first half. Now, on the 10th, like I said, there will be that full moon. So during this time, the moon will be in your 10th, opposite the 4th. So around the 10th, I think it's going to be a time where you're going to be aware that you have a lot to offer, and then also being able to see the big picture in life, because the 10th house is the top of the chart. Okay, it's the big picture. And pay attention around the 10th, really focus in on how you feel about it, because there's a lot of insight there available to you. When we gain this insight, then that's really that's the first part of manifestation. That's the full power of manifestation, is first knowing what you value, what you want, what your intentions are. So that's where the sun and moon really come together on this. So on the 10th, pay attention to the insights you're getting, because those are the insights that are going to help you set those intentions to manifest. Now on the 10th, like I said, it's going to have to do with not only the soul, but then the top of the chart, which has to do with the big picture. So during this time, look at the overall view, look at the overall picture. That's going to help you make those commitments in those relationships. And this isn't necessarily like commitments as in agreements. It's just with you. Like, are you committed? Like, are you committed to these people in your life? And so, yeah, take the time on the 10th to really look at this. And also, I think you might also, like I said, want to provide and be of service during this time as well, because when we really, when we find out where we come from, then that's when we find out what we have to offer everybody, society at large. And so this can take the form of becoming aware of what you want to give back. It could be your career, it could be your work, your vocation, anything like that, but generally just what you want to be of service with. So listen to that around the 10th, and then that's going to help lead you help you align more with all of this relationship and emotional energy that's going on, soul-oriented stuff. Now on the 16th, the sun will then go into your 5th. Now this is when things will take on you'll notice probably a different shift second half, and this is then leading into September, which will be 5th house for you, okay? Still have all the relationships, soul stuff going on, but your attention will then shift on the enjoyment aspects, okay? 5th house has to do with enjoyment, what puts a smile on your face, what motivates you, what gives you energy, what your passions are. So from the 16th onward, focus your energy on that. And I think you will. I think through all of this, understanding more about your soul and your past and all of this and relationships, you're going to then come into a point where you're going to want to start enjoying this more, because you're going to see the beauty in it and the value. And it's not until we can see the beauty in something do we really enjoy it. And so I think that's going to be the shift. And this will be a shift particularly around the 25th when we have the new moon. The new moon will be taking place in that 5th house. And again, this is leading the way into September. So particularly around the 25th, really pay attention to the inner feelings and the conscious awareness of what makes you happy. Think about it. Feel it. What puts a smile? What motivates you? What are you passionate about life? What do you want to get out of life? What's your greatest joy in life? What are your greatest joys? And this is going to really set the stage for the upcoming months, like I said. And that really makes the second half of this month a lot to do with enjoying these relationships, enjoying your home and your family, these sorts of things. And through that, you'll understand more about yourself and others and so forth and so on. So do take the time, do enjoy, and pay attention to those insights. All right, Aries, so thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, please get in touch. If you'd like a personal reading, I'm still offering 50% off my Skype sessions. So if you're interested, I'll put a link down in the About section. And as always, have a great month. Thanks for watching.